Look, I already got to make a comment.
Well, wow, we haven't even gotten started. Welcome back to RTV Zone Survivor Recap. And Sandra's ready to make a comment. Go.
What's up with all those names of these people that haven't been showing up, like Jerry and...
With that, we just kept the opening from last season, and anybody that had joined us, we just left it on. I'm going to change hats here, and this is for the Marlboro man that never fucking even speaks on a goddamn show. What's his name, Rick?
Rick.
Yeah, Rick. Yeah! I got all Survivor motherfuckers, but I ain't gonna say shit. I ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna get to the end.
I'm sure he's saying stuff. I'm sure he's having interviews every day. He's having confessionals. It's just whatever he has to say really probably doesn't amount to anything. So why put it on TV? But I'm sure he's saying something. Everybody's always saying something.
But it's obviously not interesting. Okay. This was always my question, and I've posed this question to Robin Cass, the casting director of Big Brother. You get these people on, and it's like, motherfucker, it took me 3 fucking years to get on fucking Big Brother, and this motherfucker gets on in 2 weeks, and, like, what made him give you this impression that he was going to be great? And the motherfucker didn't say shit the entire time he was on the whole season. It was boring as hell. Somebody pulled one over on you. I mean, really, what do you think that Rick could have shown in the audition process that they're sitting there going, we gotta have this motherfucker?
Well, he's actually been applying for like 11 seasons or something like that, some like ridiculous amount. He's been trying to get on the show forever, Rick, and I think he might have been the Sears guy. Like they have like one guy who's like the American Idol. And I think he was that guy that he sort of got on from the contest.
Oh, so
makes sense.
In other words, they should have stuck to their guns and with the last 10 years of turning him down, right?
He got in the back door.
I think they also relied a lot on those that psychological profile testing, that Minnesota multifaceted personality inventory test, that 580 questions. So I think, if someone has taken those tests enough, they can pull one fast one on you, right? Where you show extrovert, you show, you are a disagreeable person, you show that you are open, and then they say, oh, you have openness, you're disagreeable, and no conscience, right? So then, yeah, he would make a good reality guy.
And I'm going to share a little secret from the last test. What kind of test did you call it, yeah?
It's a formal name. I think it's the Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory Profile Test.
I'm never going to
test for the fourth thing called CANOE, right? Conscientiousness, agreeability, neurosis, okay?
And they ask you the same questions over and over and over in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's just so repetitive, it drives you fucking insane.
Right. But over and over again is for corrections. Is to make sure that they catch you lying. But you can pull a fast one on them.
Have you ever had thoughts of killing yourself? Have you ever had thoughts of killing someone else? Have you ever thought of killing yourself? The last time I took it was last summer when I went back on the show. I was kind of surprised that they had me take it again since I'd been on already.
But when I took it the second time, it showed some change. So they said I'm a little bit less shy. So
the psychologist, like when I had my little meeting with her before, she says, she goes, let's look over your test because I was a finalist in season 5, season 6, 7 was All-Stars. I got on in 8, and then this one. So she had 4 tests to compare. And she says, let's take a look back. And she has it on her computer, and she's like, oh, you're much less aggressive than you used to be. You're much less this and that, and so on and so forth. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. That's Danielle's.
That was not a mistake. She's going asking. She's trying to get a reaction out of you. Come on.
Look, I laughed my ass off with my reaction. I got the same scores that I got the first time, and they told me, Sandra, you haven't changed one bit. I was like, really?
What the heck?
I want to stay the same. I want to be the same person regardless.
When I talk at it and say, according to this test, you're pretty shy. You test pretty high on the shyness scale. People like you don't apply to these shows. And I go, you guys, that test is calibrated against normal Americans. Among Chinese, I'm your wild and crazy guy. He just cracked up.
I can only imagine.
Speaking of being very quiet and shy, Brandon was very quiet this episode.
Yeah, don't say Brendan.
Sorry, it's
Brendan's Big Brother, yeah.
Bookie. We haven't heard much out of him the last couple episodes. Is it that there's just much more other stuff going on? Is he just
more
a
interesting
little
stuff,
less crazy because he's not so paranoid right now, where he knows he's safe, at least for the time being, and we can expect him to start losing his shit again in the next couple weeks? Or what's the deal, Rob?
He was shot out of a cannon to start the season, and he was going crazy. And Coach has done like a really good job of just like, all right, take it easy. God is watching you. You want to be on your best behavior. And now he's sort of like pretty mellow, other than the fact he's kind of like a narc, and he's out there spying on Albert and Cochran and all those guys to Coach. But he's been on his best behavior. But you never know. These Hanses, at any second, that you don't know what could set them off.
And he's playing double duty as Cochran's bodyguard too. So.
Or his cuddle buddy is Teddy Bear. If I had the still when they were like, one of the guy's heads on the other one's shoulder. Was that a couple of weeks ago?
No, that was.
Come on.
That was at
the cookie.
2 weeks ago,
It was
yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks
He was
ago.
tired from eating. No, he was tired from eating.
1 week ago.
He was going into
He's almost looking like his like his cellmate, his bitch.
It's post digestive stupor there.
Is that what it was? That was like afterglow.
Yeah.
Look, we're over here like, when was it? Last week, this week? They're starting to all run together.
Who's everybody's favorite at this point?
Cochran.
Let's do favorite, and let's do who do you think is going to win? Sandra, you like Cochran as your favorite.
But
Who
I
do you
want
think is
Ozzy
gonna
to
win?
come back from Redemption Island.
Rob.
I like Cochran the most to watch. I think he's the most entertaining. I'm sorry that my dog gets very hungry whenever I do one of these shows. If you hear some weird noises on my end.
You're humping your leg or something.
No, she wants to eat because she's a fat ass. I like Cochran the most. He brings me the most entertainment value. But I actually am starting to think Sophie has a really good shot to win.
Wow, that would be a very disappointing season, wouldn't it?
I think she's pretty good. I like Sophie.
Yeah, I like to see Cochran go further. He annoys me a little bit. I mean, as I said, keep saying he reminds me of myself 30 years ago. Okay, way too geeky for my own good, and then suddenly see the light and go, ooh, that was not good. Let's do something else, right? But I think I like the way they portrayed it. Maybe Coach winning it this time, right? I mean, so.
I think the coach is going to go pretty far. As it is. How do you feel about, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and you made a comment, praying in Tai Chi. Does Jesus do Tai Chi now?
Jesus do not do Tai Chi. In fact, a lot of the fundamentalist evangelical Christians I know are very upset about their people doing Tai Chi or yoga or even Eastern martial arts, right? Because, I mean, it's a cultural thing. There's always some type of, every culture have some kind of gods and goddesses and some weird things attached to it. So this is an Oriental, Eastern mysticism attached to it, and so you cannot avoid that. But this yoga thing, I mean, he's first trying to impress Brendan as being a good Christian, praying all the time, and he does this Tai Chi thing, which you call upon the spirits to help you. Well, you call upon the spirit, don't know what kind of spirit you get, right? It's good.
It's like a Ouija board.
Father.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like it could be my Chinese great grandfather. It could be Jesus. Who cares, right? As long as he gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So is Coach getting a Jesus complex in this?
He's getting a God complex. He's way beyond Jesus. He's God.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
here's so on and so forth. But he's really kind of going overboard here.
Yeah, on Survivor, anytime that anybody has to say, I am not the leader of the tribe. I just want to get that straight. Just so everybody knows, I'm not the leader. The more anybody says that, the more they definitely are the leader.
That's just because they just don't want their ass axed. That's the only reason that they're saying that. Now, how did you wait, it's in my notes here somewhere down the line. You guys can correct me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it real quick. But, okay. Coach trying to deny he's the leader of the tribe. And then scoffs when Albert calls him a figurehead, not a leader. He says he's not the leader, he's the figurehead. And then they show Coach, and he's like, So he really does think that he's the leader of this tribe.
Right, and he just contradicted himself.
He just wants to deny it so his ass isn't on the chopping block.
Can I tell you something that I think is a real difference between Big Brother and Survivor is that when you guys do the live show with Julie Chen on Big Brother, Julie Chen will ask a question. Nobody ever says shit on. Nobody ever says anything of any value. But somehow this tribal council, people feel like, oh, I have to say the truth. Yeah, actually, I don't think Coach is actually the leader. Yeah, I'm actually planning on voting him out in a couple of weeks.
But we don't know how many times. We don't know how many times Jeff has to ask a question before anybody even think about answering it, right?
That's
why the tribal council's like 2 hours long.
The tribal council's like 2 hours long, where the live eviction show is basically like 10-minute segment there, and Julie Chen doesn't really call anybody out. I mean, if Julie Chen said some of the shit that Jeff Probst says in Tribal, I would just tell Julie Chen to shut the fuck up and let me play my game. You're fucking my game up, Julie. Like on live TV, take your $40,000 fine from the FCC. Fuck you.
And Cochran, Jeff is so hard on Cochran. Like, Cochran, so what's going on? You gonna make a move here tonight, Cochran? And he's like, oh, well, Jeff, I don't know. Well,
he
Cochran,
just hammered him.
You better switch soon, Cochran.
Yeah. Don't you think that this is the right time? They played it up, and they played Albert. The last 2 weeks, they played Albert up with the, with the mutiny. Get the numbers together and getting Dawn and this one and that one and Cochran, and then it comes to the vote, and it's like, what the fuck happened with that? Was this like 5-minute fleeting thought that they just wanted to play up in order to keep us watching? And one thing I do give them is we've had 2 double eviction, you don't call it double eviction, but 2 double elimination episodes in a row to keep from happening what happened last season when it was a bore. It was a total snooze fest. They want to blow through these people and let it all get down to the one tribe where they start picking each other off, because that's when it's going to get interesting. Because right now it's boring as shit. As soon as Cochran flipped, they had the numbers. Everybody knew it. And how much can you play this up week after week after week like they did last season, as opposed to just being done with it already and let's move on? Anybody?
Well said.
Yeah, you said it all. I mean, you phrased it correctly. It wasn't even a question. You told it like it is.
Yeah. Actually, they did do this on one episode last season. There was one. I think they did Ralph and Steve. I think they just burned them off, the last 2 of the guys from the from the other tribe.
Ralph, I forgot all about Ralph already.
Yeah, that last season is really forgettable. Other than the people on Boston Rob's tribe, other than Russell, not a lot to remember from the other group.
I'm wondering what's going on where we can't see. I keep hearing the dog whining.
The dog is out of control. This dog is a fat ass and wants to eat,
so
and she's
bad, daddy.
She's just begging.
It reminds me of Mo, that haircut. Hey, Mo.
Yeah, knock it off.
Started down the middle there.
Hey, so what's up with Brandon spelling Don D-O-N?
D-O-N.
He took spelling lessons from Ralph last
His uncle.
Yeah, even Russell was ripping on him on Twitter for not spelling that right. Actually,
maybe he thought her name was Donna all season. Everybody's calling her Don.
I thought that maybe for a second he was making fun and saying that she was manly or something. I don't know.
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah. Or because his name is Brandon, so he just assumed that, hey, I've been spelling Don. Yeah, but they spell that's embarrassing. If I ever wondered about somebody's name, I used to say, hey, John, how do you spell your name again? I want to make sure I get that right when I go to tribal council, because I don't want to
Didn't Ozzy do that to Cochran?
Yeah, he did.
Cochran's like, you don't need to know how to spell my name.
That's funny.
What is this bullshit that Coach is always talking about, his tribe being his family, and trying to, jack everybody off and make them feel happy, but, it comes down to there's a certain point where everybody turns on each other and, dog eat dog. And that's what we're all waiting for. So how are you going to keep this being so nice and friendly?
It's a big dysfunctional family. What the heck?
And it'll start next week because he's already watching Albert, and Albert's already watching him. And if I were Cochran, I'd put doubt in both of them. I'd put fear in both of them that, hey, such and such is trying to solicit my vote, and
Yeah,
and I'd start the fireworks real quick.
Corcoran can play both sides and get away with it, right? Keep
Is he
going back
that
and forth.
smart? Is he that smart in order to do
I
it?
think he has that strategy.
That's a
I
Rob
don't-
answers. What is it, Rob?
I don't know if Cochran really has a strategy. I think Cochran just does whatever people want to do. Like, it's not like he flipped
save his
to
ass from
Coach's
week to
tribe. Yeah, he did it because he was like, oh, I'm not going to pick a rock. But, he didn't do it like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch, and then when it gets down to 7, I'm going to switch back to that side. Like, he sort of just like, hey, whoever wants to take me further, I'll go with you. But he doesn't seem to have a plan, right?
Why
What
wouldn't
was
he
his
have gone
plan?
with
Why
that
is
plan
that a
that
bad
Albert
plan?
put out there?
That's
about,
a Sandra plan. He learned it from the Queen.
Yeah, but he's not as good as you.
No.
You consider
He's
me
not
good?
as pretty. He
I
can't get away with
think
it.
you're good. You won twice. He's not
Yay.
gonna win. He's not gonna win once.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm gonna lose $1 on him.
He's not gonna win.
God forbid. Why didn't they form a new alliance?
It's too early.
Do you think so? But isn't it going to be too late?
I
Like
think
after
it'll be
this,
late.
going to be too
No,
late?
I think there's too much tribal loyalty. They could have formed a good one with Whitney and what's the other name?
Don.
Don.
They could have a good alliance there and have a very loyal alliance to go to the end and say, look, I saved your ass. Stay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough
Yeah, but
now.
at the same time, you're asking 2 people to go with these other 3. Those 3 could have then took them out. So I think when it came back to numbers, they were like, wait a minute, do we want these prior 3 Savai, right? With
Yeah.
us? No.
The problem is there's 7 people left, and even if Sophie and Albert get Cochran, and that's 3. Nobody out of Coach's group of Brandon, Edna, and Rick, I don't think any of those guys are switching away from Coach. So they're down 4
We
to
have no
3.
idea what the hell's
No,
going on
there's
with Rick because he
potential
doesn't
in Rick.
fucking say
There's
anything.
potential. There's potential in Rick. If he's been trying to get on Survivor for 13 seasons or whatever it may be, I'm sure that this guy's got to be thinking, wait a minute, do we want another Boston Rob season?
Even if he's not talking, he's got to be thinking. He's got to be thinking. Really. If you're a fan of the show, he's got to be thinking, I'm not fucking high on this totem pole, but is he going to have the balls to do anything? That's the whole thing. Now,
The only one who could have pulled it off is Cochran, right? Because
Why?
he's the loose cannon. He should go up to those 2 girls and then, ground the truth. But yeah, he don't have the balls to do that.
But he
Now,
doesn't
the
go up
agent-
to anybody. The people people come up to him and say, "Okay, Cochran, good news. We're not voting you out tonight. Here's
Yeah.
what the new plan is."
Right.
It's oh great. Oh, that was close. I was gonna get voted out.
Every week. Now, the Asian
that's
girl's
a
name
strategy.
is Edna, right? Edna is the Asian girl?
Edna.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are even talking about forming this new alliance, why in the fuck are you talking about getting a nothing, Edna out? Why not go for the throat and say, let's just get Coach out
Coach
now.
out, yes.
Fuck this guy.
Right.
Let's change the goddamn game.
In fairness, Coach does still have the idol. So that
Right, you
maybe they were
blindsided. That's why
afraid.
you have
Send
to
him home. How
blindside
many
him.
people have gone home with an idol in their pocket?
Yeah.
Talk to James, who went home with
and
2.
he hasn't been using it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the chances that he thinks he's,
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the way?
He's totally
he won't
cocky
play
enough
it.
right now. He won't use it.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
I'm just saying maybe that's what they thought, but I don't know why they wouldn't vote out Brandon or Rick instead of Edna. That's like cutting off like the tiniest tip off the tail of the snake.
I
It's
know.
like-
That's,
You
like
split
the,
your vote.
that's the
They can
piece of
split
the
their
tail that
vote
comes
for
out when a
free.
cat plays with it anyway.
Right, but Edna would not win any individual challenges. You leave her alone because you can beat her this is individual challenge time, right?
But she's
You can
the
beat her.
one that you drag
Right.
along and you can
Right,
cut her
exactly.
loose any fucking
Right.
time you want to.
Yeah.
Why not
You
take
now
her
want
to
to
the end?
hold
They
out the
won't give her
strong
the
guy.
money. Take her to the end. They won't
I
give her
just
the
don't
money.
even understand why they wouldn't go for the throat and, you cut the head off, the body will die. Do you know how bad Brandon would freak out if they formed an alliance, they got rid of Coach, Brandon would be like, you would hear an audible shit in his pants right there in the fucking tribal council. It would be like a parting of the seas as everybody trying to get away from the smell. There's just no way. He would lose it. Am I
I
lying?
just
Really?
saw Nicole. She's behind
Yes, it was a cameo.
Tell her she can come say hi.
Nick says you could come say hi.
Doesn't have to be so goddamn shy.
No, she's shy.
She's shy. Does she need a couple cocktails? Couple apple martinis, maybe?
Oh, it's Sandra.
How are you? I thought you were
It's my
gone. I thought you went to
girl.
the club.
Yeah. Sandra thinks you're in the club.
I'm in the club.
You were in the club.
What club?
What?
The club he put
Sandra's
you
the
at.
club I want to
The
be
Bad
in.
Girls Club.
Oh,
Well, she
Evil
would be
Dick,
awesome.
I miss you.
She would be
I miss
awesome
you
for Bad
too.
Girls Club.
Can you hear me?
Where's the
They
doggy?
can hear you.
Oh.
Where's
You
the
feed
doggy? Where's
Hey,
the
you had a
doggy?
birthday the other day, didn't you? Because I know I went on your Facebook page to say happy birthday.
To me?
Didn't you have a birthday?
It was in September.
No, somebody had a birthday recently or something, and I was like, happy
A
birthday.
happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, Evil Dick.
I have to go back on your page and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think you wrote anything on my page. It was an imposter.
Imposter?
Yeah.
No way.
You have
Was
people
it
like,
Nicole Delma?
No,
pretending to be you on Facebook too?
Yes.
No. I'm going to look back and I'm going to sort it out.
Okay. Yeah, get to the bottom of this.
Is Yao-
Most deaf.
Is Yao frozen?
Oh no.
Yell's always frozen.
Okay,
That's
there
how
you
he
go.
looks.
He just has
I'm
that
changing my.
that toothpaste smile.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay, let's go back to Cochran. Cochran, did he graduate from Harvard? He's going to Harvard. This guy you think would at least be good at the fucking questions, right? They give you this pamphlet of like, you have to drink a gallon of water a day, all these different survival type questions, and you figure that the guy would at least read this shit. He sucks in every competition. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Go, Sandra.
I was actually doing that competition from my living room, and had I been playing on that Survivor, I would have won individual immunity.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Evil Dick, what was that? An HOH competition of, okay, house guests, how much water do you drink a day in the house? A cup. B, all right, reset. Okay,
Yeah,
the worst challenge of all time.
Here it is. I got A, Julie. A.
All right, Dick, we need an answer.
Yeah, we need an answer now. I would always take my time. You know, she would always yell at me because I'm like, I'm not letting Julie Chen hurry me. And I'm not good at the questions under time pressure like that. I'm just not good at it. So I would take my time. I get yelled at. I don't care. What are you going to do? Fucking penalize me a number? I don't care. So, but then they throw in, this is the difference between Big Brother and Survivor. Then they throw in a question, how many gallons of liquid does the teacup hold? And then they say 8 because it has a door. Or, you know, what's the secret relationship of people still in the house? And everybody's like, nobody's related to nobody. And they go, oh, it's the guinea pigs. Are you fucking kidding me? So, yeah, that's the difference. Kind of like, I don't watch Amazing Race that often, but I did watch the beginning of this season with Jenna and Ethan.
Yes.
And they had the little thing sitting on the side of the table that said, I forgot
Give all your money.
it was.
Give
Yeah,
up-
but
give
all
up
your money.
to the
Yeah,
charity.
and nobody read it. They just gave them their the money from that country, and then they had to go back, and they got fucked.
Yeah.
And
Those greedy orphans wanted all the money. They couldn't even take some of the money.
None of these shows need trick questions. Just lay the shit out, really. Just lay it out, and it's supposed to be a fucking race. You just say, you know, spell it out plainly. Give them all your money, every dime that you have in your pocket, and whoever gets there first gets there. You know, that's it.
That's why you have to pay attention to detail.
But why throw in these stupid trick questions? It just
For the
pisses me off.
fuckers that don't read. Some people, like 2 or 3 of them did it. I know the skateboarding kids, they read it.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them that did it. I think
They
over
read
half.
it. People took a minute just to look around and make sure they were done before they kept on. So you know what? I'm glad those other 2 got voted out.
Those other 2 meaning Ethan and Jenna? Like, she's trying not to smile. She's trying not to laugh. You know, I almost guarantee you, and I know people are going to talk shit about what I'm going to say right now, but I don't give a fuck. Because I can almost guarantee you it's the truth. How many of the Survivor or the Amazing Race producers you think went behind closed doors and go, fuck, I wish he was diagnosed with cancer after, when he was on the show? We could have gotten more legs out of this.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not wishing him bad. It's just the timing. Because he's been all over everything. He's in People. He's in Us Magazine. He's all over the place. And, I wish Ethan the best, and I hope that he, fights through this again. But I'm just saying, I know how those fucking producers think, motherfucker. It's all about ratings, and it's all about promoting.
I mean, I should hope nobody's wishing any sort of ill will like that.
No, that's not ill will. What is that? Ping pong?
And for the record, I want to be the only Survivor to ever win Survivor and The Amazing Race. That's where my hostility comes from.
Who are you going to go on Amazing Race with?
Anybody that has the balls to push me off a bungee cord or something like that, because there's a lot of shit that I will not do, and I need somebody strong that'll be like, Sandra, get your ass up there, close your eyes, because I'm about to push you.
What if they go with someone? I'll go with you. You go with someone who speaks more than one language. So if you speak two languages, I speak two languages. You got 4 covered. I speak 3 languages. We got 5 languages covered. Right?
What if
I only speak English, Spanish, and fuck you. So I mean, yes.
Okay, that's 3 languages. I speak 2 languages. We got it covered.
Sandra, what if they said you can go on The Amazing Race, but you had to go with Russell?
We wouldn't
kill each other
because I wouldn't listen to shit he got to say.
But that would be good TV, though. Yeah.
Wow.
They want conflict, and I before we went on, I had mentioned this that Russell actually hit me up on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
If I would do The Amazing Race with him, and I gave him a call, and I'm waiting for a call back. It should be an interesting.
Why don't you bring Russell on this show, Dick?
I was afraid that Sandra would lose her shit. No, I'll be more than... I've invited Russell before, and that was the only contact I had with him.
I think he's still under contract. He can't show his face in public, right? Is he still under contract? No.
No, well,
he shows his face all over the place. The problem is that wherever the queen is at, Russell will not go.
Ooh. And I know that he has his...
And since I was here first, he's considered, a third wheel, leftovers, and he'd want to be here first, and I'm already here, been here, done that, so he won't come.
I'll have to hit him up again when I talk to him. Speaking of which, Richard Hatch should be getting out of jail soon. Isn't that
I thought in February.
Oh, is it February? That's
it was
a
8
long
months.
9 months. I thought.
Yeah, I think he only went in March, right? Right when Celebrity Apprentice came on. So I think maybe.
Yeah, I think it was about a month into Celebrity Apprentice. I know he didn't get to go to the finale or anything.
Yeah.
So, but that's a
very
long
soon
stint.
though.
I mean, did Willie Nelson go into jail for this long for tax evasion? Did Wesley Snipes? And they owe a hell of a lot more money.
The difference is when those guys came out, they paid it and went off. He didn't pay it. He came out. He still fought them, and then it went on round and round. It's like the snowball effect.
Hey, by the way,
there's no way that he has the money being in fucking jail for 4 years.
Somebody told me that Survivor signed on for what, 3 more seasons?
2.
3 more, 1 more year. So there are 3 more seasons coming up. So next season that's already determined, and next year, so it's renewed for another year, which means there's 3 more seasons.
I heard
but they only have 2 more to tape because they're already one ahead. Yeah, they already got the one for February lined up.
So they have 2 more to tape. Yeah.
And then they're gonna have to tape those early because Jeff's show. I heard they're gonna have to tape them in March.
They'll have to work around his show. Yeah.
I think if Jeff is just hedging his bets here.
Yes, I think so. If
Jeff's to make sure that this show's going to fly before he leaves Survivor, and
if Jeff's show becomes
Leno or something,
if he becomes like the next Ellen or something like that, where Jeff's show is a big hit, I think he sticks with the show, doesn't go back and do any more Survivor next year. But if Jeff's show is a flop, doesn't go anywhere. He comes right back. He doesn't retire from Survivor. And doesn't, because a lot of these morning shows, they just don't work, and I don't know how a talk show.
Yeah, Survivor's
all of these networks. What soap operas are left on the networks? Are they all canned and online now? Is Young and the Restless the only one left?
Well, more and more of these networks are going to reality shows, like they do Real Housewives of Atlanta, because it's just it's just a guy at a house with a camera.
Yeah, during the daytime.
Yeah, they do that in the daytime.
It's cheap, right? They don't have to hire writers, and they don't have to pay residuals when they get played.
They replaced one of them with The Chew, which is a terrible show. Some cooking, eating show.
Yeah.
They replaced another one with Julie Chen's The Talk.
Yeah, soap operas are expensive.
Yeah.
It just must be horrible, too. Anyhow. I used to go to the Young and the Restless set when I was doing house calls. because I would have to go early to beat traffic, and I would be like in the back of the CBS stuff, spinning the big wheel from The Price is Right.
Whoa.
Plinko, going into, I'm sitting there reading a paper at Craig Ferguson's desk and just roaming around everywhere. Nobody said anything to me at school. But I would go watch those guys at The Young and the Restless. They always laugh and stuff. They were cool. Okay, we covered a lot of this stuff. The competitions. They had 2 original competitions. The first one, the Redemption Island one, looked like a motherfucker to me.
I hate that one. I did that on Heroes.
Oh, so it wasn't, they weren't original ones? That was a redo?
Yeah, it was almost like the one in Gabon. They had one like that, yeah.
Yeah, that looked like a bitch, though.
Looks tough.
Yeah, it is, because it'll slide right off, or if you try to lift it up too high, the board will move and your shit will slide off, and you're like, oh, fuck. And I was like, Ozzy is so done. This is like an anti-Ozzy challenge.
Was anybody surprised that Ozzy ended up winning?
I was praying. I was like, Lord, have mercy. Lord, if you do this for me. I wanted Ozzy to win so bad.
Really?
You know what?
Does anybody think that Ozzy has a chance if he goes all the way through and pulls a redo of Matt from last season without God,
Yes.
comes back?
Yep.
You do?
Here's
Wow,
why.
all of you do?
Because all the people from his old tribe are going to be on the jury. All he needs to get is one of them. If he gets he gets there and he's up against like Coach and Brandon or whatever, and then all of a sudden he's got Keith, he's got Jim, he's got Dawn, he's got Whitney. That's 4 votes already. He only needs to get one other vote, and
so
he can
all they
win.
need to do is split the votes between the remaining 2.
Yeah. So,
and you know
so
what?
that's true.
He should bring Anna along. Right.
And if they claim somebody's bitter and that he ends up with a bitter vote, he could possibly win.
Well, I think a lot of those people are pretty bitter after what happened.
I just need them to do more swimming challenges for Ozzy's sake.
Yeah.
There's no water in Redemption Island Arena.
Well, they need to dig a hole and stick the water in there for my man.
I think they should pull why don't they pull a Bugs Bunny?
Challenge.
They pull a Bugs Bunny, let them climb to the top of a really large tower, and have a little bucket of water for them to dive into.
He could do it.
That'll work. Because Ozzy could take it. Yeah, he would take it.
How'd you like the helicopter shot of Ozzy on the top of the palm tree? Just like, ho.
That was an expensive shot. They have to call that helicopter in just one, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I prefer to see Ozzy on top of a tree than Coach, because Coach is a helicopter hog.
Okay, I prefer to see Ozzy over Philip on the top of that big rock in his pink underwear. Speaking of Philip, Rob had Philip on as a guest yesterday.
Yesterday, I had a long talk with Philip about what he thinks of this season. On my podcast.
Give us the highlights, and you can plug your podcast as well.
Yeah, Rob has a website. We talk to survivors every week, and we talked to Philip for a while yesterday. Philip was actually, people have said that this was a whole side of Philip that we never saw before last season.
He's a very together guy.
He was very together.
I can vouch for him.
And he says all the sort of the wacky stuff, he did that on purpose last season because he was playing for Boston Rob to take him to the end, and that's why he acted that way. And it's a whole different side of Philip, and he was very impressed with Sophie. He really likes Sophie, and he thinks that Sophie didn't make the move last week or this week because Sophie wants Albert out of the game. Because she doesn't want to sit next to Albert because he's exactly the same, and she can't win if Albert is still in the game.
Makes sense.
I think both of them need to get some of the bigger people out of the game, or they're not going to have a chance in it.
Yeah,
really.
Well, who's the bigger people? Just Coach
and Brandon and
yeah.
I'd bring Brandon to the end. Brandon's pretty beatable. Who's voting for Brandon at the end? Nobody likes him.
Yep.
I still don't want to hands
It's the final 3. You bring
Why? You should be saying
Anna.
You out of anybody.
Of course, take a goat to the end, but I'm saying then they'll always say that the hands can always go far when it's because people.
But nobody votes for them.
Yeah. Well, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if you get to the end if you don't get any votes?
Yeah, that's the funny part, right? When they assume they win and they're sitting there with a sour
it's all about winning. It doesn't matter if you're out first or if you're out, second, third to last. Actually, Survivor has a pay scale that goes up, right?
Yes.
Close to Big Brother.
First to second, right? Huge difference.
Big Brother, everybody gets paid the same except for who comes in first and second. And in an All-Star season, I heard that Marcellus actually made more money than Erica because he was on the jury longer and they paid the jury like more, So he ended up walking away with more, which was bullshit. But at least it's a sliding scale on where you finish in Survivor is how much you get paid. And that's the way it should be, honestly. Okay. What else do we got to talk about here? We got Albert organizing a mutiny. Coach thinking he's Jimmy Hoffa and threatening death if anyone votes against the group. How did you like that comment?
I don't know. I mean, after we watched the season with Boston Rob last season, is there any? If this was Boston Rob instead of Coach, is there any chance Albert doesn't get voted out in that episode? If somebody like Boston Rob gets a whiff that Albert's talking to these other guys, he's not waiting around. No. He's not waiting around to see what the vote is going to be. Coach is like, well, if I find out he's voting against anybody in my tribe, then that's it. It's too late, Coach.
You got to go for the throat. These are the people. These are the people, and this is the reason that the Ozzy's tribe got fucked by Cochrane, because they didn't get rid of him in the beginning. They let him just like drag along. Well, we can get rid of him anytime. And before they know it, he's got his dick in their ass, and they're like, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
Jesus. I don't know.
Cochrane, he sneaks up on you.
Yeah, I guess he must.
Sandra liked that analogy. I could tell.
No, but you know what? And Ozzy threatening them too. Like, I'm gonna feed you. You know, I'm gonna make sure you have a full tummy, but I'm gonna send you packing. Hey, that's exactly what I would say if I were Ozzy.
Well, Ozzy was right. He's over there. You know, they're all hungry now. You know, they did finally say something about that on the last episode. They're all hungry now. And Ozzy's like kicking back. This is the biggest fucking fish I've ever caught. You know, and he comes out with this big old fucking fish. You know, he's like having a good time diving down there, has a solitude. And this might be the best way for him to play the game, because obviously being in the tribe, he would.
Well, it's perfect for Ozzy because Ozzy works as a waiter, and you know, you come to Redemption Island. Ozzy tells you, "Okay, thanks for coming to Redemption Island. We've got some great specials tonight. I just caught a 19-pound whitefish. We've got some fresh sea bass. Can I get you anything? You're like, wow, this is great service.
With a straw.
Yeah, I love Ozzy.
Let's talk about the questions here. There was some really... The last question. We had Whitney. The question was, are South Pacific clams dangerous, true or false?
Yes.
This girl never watched the 60s fucking movie with Frankie Avalon and Ned Funicello where they're sitting on the fucking beach doing a clam bake on the beach. I mean, it's even farther out in the fucking ocean, so the water has to be safer. I mean, why would you think that that clams are dangerous?
Could be poisonous.
Yeah, what, some kind of the rare poisonous clam?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Never know that. It's opened up, you stick your hands
right.
and pick it up, and it clamps up on you. That's why it's called a clamp.
Not a clam, not a clamp.
How would I know? I have an accent. I can't tell a difference.
All right. Anybody want to add anything before we go to video mailbag here?
Nah, you guys covered it all.
I mean, we had like 2 weeks to cover it. It wasn't very exciting episodes. It was just basically taking care of business and getting on with it. Let me run this question past you. Who goes next week? Well, Whitney's going to be first, right?
No, unless
she's gone. Whitney's gone.
Wait, I thought
that was Dawn.
No, Cochrane's left.
Right.
Cochrane's left, and I think Cochrane's going home.
You think Cochrane will be the next one to go?
I think so.
Who's going to be the
did
first?
I just lose track?
Well, they voted off two. They voted off so fast.
Ozzy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Dawn.
it's Whitney and Dawn against Ozzy?
Yeah.
Whitney and Whitney and Dawn against Ozzy. Well, depends. No. Wait. Depends on what kind of challenge they have, right? The problem with Redemption Island is because the challenges are set up in the day's time, right? So they can manipulate if they want to, as opposed to the other challenges that are huge and takes them, weeks to build. This is, portable, so they could pull a fast one.
It could be,
Yeah, but they'll
horseshoe
put something
toss.
out there for Ozzy to do good at. They're not gonna they don't have something in their bag of tricks that's gonna be bad for Ozzy.
Yeah, but that's what happened with Russell last season, and he was gone first with
They were
stacking the
tired of
dominoes.
Russell because he thought he was the survivor god, They were tired of his shit too.
Nah, I don't think that they wanted him gone right off the bat. No way. What
Well,
would they bring
you know
him
what
back
they
if
could do?
want him gone right away?
They could have an English grammar challenge, man.
Brendan's out.
No. Her name is Dawn is an English teacher, right?
But they don't want Ozzy to go home. They want Ozzy to come back into the game.
Now, who was the one with the spelling last season that did not spell?
Ralph.
Oh, that's right,
Spell
Ralph. See, I
anything.
forgot about Ralph already. He couldn't spell one of those goddamn names. Okay, are we ready for video mailbag?
Russell.
Yes.
He spelled it Rassle.
Oh, Rassle. That's right, Rassle.
Russell.
And Phil, he spells Phil Phile.
Yes.
That's it. See, that's fucked up, man. You need those producers should go. We know that you got that second grade education. You're down south. We understand this. We're going to give you a hint. Philip is PH, not an F.
Why don't they have a sign up in the vote? Like, they just tape it to the camera. Here's how you spell everybody's names that's in the game. Like, why don't
that would be fair.
No,
They want to make
that
fun
won't
of
be fair.
people.
That won't be fair.
Yeah,
because depending
we
on how
have
you
nobody to laugh at.
no, because depending how you order them, people would pick the first one on the list.
Alphabetically.
That could be true too. All right, are we ready to roll some video mailbag?
Yes.
Let's do it. No, she's
Hey guys, I'm Annie from Canada, and I have 2 questions. Do you think that it is possible for Ozzy to win every single Redemption Island challenge till the end? And also, do you think that if Cochran does make it to the end, do you think he'll be able to get any jury votes? Thanks for answering my questions. Bye guys.
My answer is yes and yes.
Whoa.
My answer is yes and no.
back.
Yes, Ozzy
and
could
no
win
on
everyone,
Cochran.
and Cochran will not get any vote.
I'll say yes and yes. I think that Ozzy can win. I think Cochran can get a vote, but Cochran cannot win the game.
I think that if Cochran gets to the end, he deserves to fucking win.
He has to
I'm
make
really
a good
sorry.
jury speech.
He
He has to
has
make a
been-
very good jury speech.
Absolutely.
Cochran's good
He
at
has been
talking.
the target from before anybody even spoke. They looked at this guy and said, "Get this fucking geek is on my tribe. We got to get rid of this motherfucker right away."
But he's not good at talking. Half the time he talks and he pisses everybody off. Like
That's a very good point.
he gets on, like they say, "Okay, Cochran, what do you think of this?" He's like, "Well, I'm not that popular with people who are kind of jerks. I didn't mean to say that they're jerks." Like, he always digs himself.
I overthink it just a bit.
These guys have
I am very self-conscious. Do I have a little pea stain in my short right now? It's just the guy drives me crazy. But they always find one. I give it to Survivor casting. They'll find one that is good television like this.
Yeah.
Almost every season. Someone that we're talking about that you would never expect it. Just like Philip last season. And like it or not, Russell Hands stirred up a lot of fucking controversy, and you would have never thought from this totally looking guy that he would be stir up as much shit as he did.
Yeah.
And you need those people. You need them because you want to talk about it.
Okay, so we'll ask Philip back and we'll ask Cochran back, but that's it.
He's gonna ask Philip back. Did you talk to Philip about him going back on the show?
I think that Philip would go back, and I think that he would be good. I think that Cochran will also get asked to go back because they they don't want boring. That's the biggest thing. They should They don't care if you could win the game or if you're good at the game. They want to bring back anybody who's going to be either hot or is not boring.
It's all about ratings. Period. Ratings is money. That's it. They don't give a fuck about who's good at the game, who's a good strategist. They care about who makes you want to watch the show.
So who's back next season? Any
Well, nobody's
speculation?
back
No,
next
for
season.
next season they've already filmed it. It's ready to
I know.
go in February.
Do you know any returning?
Are they? They're about
No,
due for
nobody's
another.
returning, and there's not going to be a Redemption Island.
Oh, there's no. It's all new people next season.
Yeah.
Now,
If
aren't they
Ben
about
was
due
just
for an
women,
All Stars? Aren't we due for an All?
I guess not.
Oh!
If you were just doing the math, they did one. Well, Heroes versus Villains was 20, and Fans versus Favorites was 16.
16, right.
But 24 is not an All-Star, so I don't know what we're off schedule now.
What was the first season of All Stars? Was season
Was
7?
8. Was 8.
Eight. Oh,
And then
so
there was
they're
nothing
doing
until
eight.
16. So who
So
knows?
it could be the next one. I mean,
There's
if,
no magic number. There's no magic number.
Yeah.
who would you like to
Video
see
mailbag.
back in the last 3 seasons for an All Star?
Sandro.
Rob, yeah. Are they gonna bring fucking? Are we sick of Boston Rob? Or you think this motherfucker
Yeah.
could be on again?
Yeah, because if he went back, he'd be number 1, and that's my buddy. But I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you
But
think he
has
wants to
some
go
other
back?
shows going, right?
Has
I
anybody
think
watched
it would
this
be
show?
a waste of time for him.
Around
Yeah.
the World in
Honestly.
80 Ways. Has anybody seen it?
I've seen it.
Yes, and I laughed.
Okay. Did you like it? You only seen it once. I could tell by the way you said that.
No,
I
I
watched
saw
half
2
an episode.
episodes.
I watched half an episode and I'm like, this is crap. No offense, Boston Rob, but the show is shit.
I
I
think
saw
Rob
2
does a good
episodes.
job on it.
Yeah,
I
because
think
he's
it's just
funny.
boring.
But his
Man.
North Carolina buddy ain't all that.
I don't think either one of them are all that. And I thought the show was kind of boring. I expected it to be more like, I don't know, racing around the world or something. Like,
I mean, Top Shot is still better than Around the World in 80 Ways. Top Shot is better.
Top Shot's interesting. They took the Survivor format and put it in with some of those other shows and, having elimination.
What channel? Where's
makes it more
this show?
interesting.
Where are these shows?
History Channel.
History. I'm
Oh,
aware of
Hitler
Discovery.
Channel, right?
Hitler Channel.
Yeah, I like that H2 is much better than the History
Watch my
Channel.
new show. It's on the Hitler Channel.
Yeah. Sieg Heil. All right, let's go to the next video mailbag.
Hey everybody, it's me again. I just wanted to ask, coming to fruition, I want to know who you guys think is going to make Final 3 and who do you think is going to win the season. My top 3 that I think are going to make it to Final 3 are Edna, because she's under Coach's wing, Coach, because he's in the Power Alliance and it looks like he's just tailor-made to win this season and the editing is clearly showing how he wins and that's how I think he's going to win, I think. And my third pick would be Cochran. Coach is smart enough now to notice that he's failing so much. So let me ask, who do you guys think is going to be in your Final 3 and who do you think is going to win?
All right, who's the final 3?
Same. I think he's right. Coach, Edna, and Cochran, and Coach will win.
I thought you said that Ozzy could win. You don't think that
would
Ozzy
be-
can make it? If
Yeah.
Ozzy comes back, you don't think that he'll make the final 3?
If he
I
comes
think if
back,
Ozzy comes
he
back,
could.
he will win the immunity and he will be in the final 3.
Yeah.
Well, when he comes back, there's at least one more challenge before you get to the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, he better win that one. If not, then he's out.
So
I
what do
say Ozzy, Cochran, and the cowboy. What's his name?
Rick?
Rick.
Rick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rick.
Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me?
I don't know about that.
And who's gonna win? Ozzy.
Yeah. I think that either Coach, Edna, and Brandon, maybe if Cochran, I just don't know how Cochran gets through this week. If Cochran can get past this week, I could see him getting to the end, but I could see it
Easily.
maybe.
He can throw Albert and Coach both under
yeah.
the bus to each other.
Yeah.
He can play them against each other.
I don't know
And
if
then
he's
they
smart
won't
enough
even
or
But he
has the
doesn't-
balls enough to do it, though.
He hasn't showed us that he does that kind of stuff. Like, I don't
He's
know.
not like a
I'd love to see
manipulator.
it, but
he's a I'm gonna save my own ass any way
Yeah.
I can. I'll do it. Whatever you need, I'll vote any way you need. Keep me
If
in the
he's
game.
a fan of Survivor and he knows how Survivor is played, he's gonna have to open his freaking mouth and throw.
Well,
these
we're
dudes
gonna find
under
out,
the
or he's gonna be
bus
out.
and
I
scare
don't
them
see-
and threaten them.
I don't see Brandon having a chance at being in the final 3. To be honest with you,
Oh,
I
no.
think Brandon is gonna get a great blind side, and it's good. That's gonna be good TV.
well,
I'm
why
really
get rid of
looking-
him? Final 3. Nobody's going to vote for him.
But you're not
Well,
the
Yeah,
one playing.
I'll take
But if
Brandon,
you're breaking-
or either
if you're
Brandon
trying to break
or
If you're-
Concord can go to
If
final
you're
three.
trying to break up the Coach Alliance, you got to get rid of Coach or Brendan or Edna. You have to break them up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they're breaking up on their own.
Yeah.
There's no way. So you got to get rid of them at a certain point or another, just to like get the fucking numbers evened out.
I would get rid
Or
of
he's
him
gonna piss
solely
somebody
because
off.
he's a hands.
But I would
He's a
bring him
Hans
because he's a
alone.
Hans. He
No.
said, look, he's Russell's nephew. You're gonna vote for
Then,
him?
then they're gonna claim they're the best ever because they always make it to the end. So no, no.
Russell hasn't been very nice to his nephew on.
Or Cochran.
online.
Russell is very mean to Cochran on Twitter.
Oh, he calls him
also.
a pussy all the time. I thought it was very funny. I saw him
If he spelled pussy correctly, then it wasn't Russell. I bet somebody else is tweeting on his behalf.
Maybe a spell
Russell.
check.
Is pussy covered by spell check?
I spelled it right.
You should ask your new iPhone 4S to find it. So.
Yeah, what is it? Suri?
Suri.
Sorry, right.
Not the survivor.
Where's the nearest pussy? You'll say, look at the door.
Is that what you asked your machine, Yao?
Among other things, yes.
All right, let's go to the next video mailbag. Let's get this moving along here so we can wrap up.
Okay, this question.
Look, it's Brandon.
I'd love to be
Brandon.
answered by you guys. Love the show. Total shout out for you guys. Put so much effort into it. Just want to know about the survivor shelters. First off, they totally suck, but I'm suspecting that it's done on purpose. I'm wondering if all the sides are open so then that way the camera crew can go in there. Because when it rains there down south there, man, it rains. And I would not have a shelter like that. So I'm suspecting that the camera crew snooping around, and then also to be able to snoop around at night. So hook me up with an answer, please. Totally wrong.
No.
Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Put so much effort into the show. You know, this is one fan of Survival. Love it. Thanks.
Cool.
Right on. Thank you very much. Okay, this is
The
up to you
answer
guys.
is
I have
lazy.
no idea.
The answer is we are lazy. We are lazy to build the walls. They wanted us to build the walls. In Fiji, for example, we were told that when it rains, it comes in sideways. You will be very wet if you don't have a wall. Well, we all got lazy. We put up a little, shade, and then we stopped building because nobody wants to build the wall. It's difficult to build walls with palms.
Yeah. Nobody builds the shelter bad on purpose. There's no production telling you, make sure you build the shelter really crappy because we need to film inside there.
Yeah, that's true. We tried to enhance ours on a daily basis. If we kept getting rained on, we tried to build on it. But after 20 minutes, you're like, fuck this. Why am I the only one doing all the work and the rest of them are down there like Coach soaking up the sun? So fuck it.
Yeah, people do not cooperate. Building shelter is so low on the priority, they don't care.
And for me, and
Did
another
they
thing
get tarps
is I
this
used
season?
to...
No.
Did they get what?
A tarp.
I haven't seen. Not like last season. They got shovels. They got spoons, bowls. I was waiting for a fucking half a gallon of ice cream. Yeah, they had little beach
because their
chairs.
two boys were on there. Because Russell and Boston Rob were on there. You can't treat those guys rough. Come on.
Hey, I got a whole grocery list. Go fill it for me. Bring it back. Where's ice cream?
I'm gonna give Jim a plug. I went and saw Jim up in Breckenridge.
Did he hook you up?
Look what he gave him.
I stopped smoking pot a long time ago, but
oh man,
why?
But here's this place. I stopped smoking when I stopped growing like years ago. So
it's medicine, Dick.
That's right. Well, if anybody needs to be medicated, it's probably Rachel. Rachel Riley. Sorry. All right, let's go to the next video mailbag. Boom.
Dino from Arizona.
It's Dino from Arizona. I want to let you in on my new drinking game. Every time the camera shows Edna or Rick and they don't say anything, I chug a beer. Needless to say, I got fucked up last night, so I don't know if I come up with a really good question. But what's your opinion on Whitney being married and possibly being with Keith? I mean,
there we go.
The dirtiest, scummiest bitch that Survivor's ever had.
Oh no, there's plenty more.
I think that's just obvious. What's your opinion?
Okay, so this did come out. It came out on TMZ. If anybody hasn't seen this yet, Whitney was in a secret marriage. Didn't tell anyone when she was on the show, and got together with Keith. Although they never showed. Did they get together on the Ponderosa, or was it afterwards, or was it
I
just
didn't know
not
anything
shown?
about it.
Oh, now you do. Well, she got together and she broke up and filed for divorce with her husband to be with Keith. And this is like this big controversy right now thing going on.
Well, what she claims is that she met Keith on Survivor, and they hit it off, but nothing happened. They're just friends. Maybe they flirted a little bit. She went
Second
home.
base, maybe?
No bases. They exchanged phone numbers. She went home. She told her husband, "Look, I met somebody else." They split up, and then after separating, she pursued a relationship with Keith.
That sounds like bullshit to me.
That's
not what I'm reading.
I just report what I read.
She's been reading the Bible on the island with Brendan.
Yes, and when they were both in Ponderosa for a couple of weeks, nothing happened.
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, so I didn't know anything
There's
about
no
it.
hooking up at Ponderosa.
Okay, so there any? I know that there's a lot more scummy, slutty, past survivors. Let's hear it. Who are they? Yao.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were accusing Yao.
No, I was accusing Sandra.
Yao.
Whoa.
Yao.
Yao. Okay.
He's the worst.
Sandra never has to go to Ponderosa.
Yeah, I mean, it's not me. What can I tell you?
That's right. That's
not
always
my
like, it
deal.
always cracks me up when people say, "Well, at the jury house, Dick." I'm like, no, not really. Never been
I know,
voted out.
right? I mean, that's not a question for Sandra.
Yeah, are you giving us the finger or just picking your nose?
I have no idea. As far as I know, when I was in Ponderosa, I was sleeping and eating, and that's all I did.
I'm sure you were sleeping, but with who?
I was sleeping.
Rob?
I'm the old guy. Nobody wants.
I know your
wants
first
my body
season. You are
anymore.
all about the pussy, dude.
I know. I was only there for one day the first time. The second time, I spent a few weeks with Rudy and Tina, and there was no hooking up going on there. And Hatch was there too. There was no hooking up.
What happened to Rudy? We haven't heard shit from Rudy. Where the hell is Rudy? Is he still is he healthy?
He's alive.
No, he's not. He's barely alive.
Yeah,
he declined very much between
he is
the
very
first
coherent,
season and the All Stars.
Not only that, he lost his wife too.
Yeah.
That was his partner.
She did everything. Rudy's wife, Marge, she took care of everything. He doesn't really remember people from anybody. And then she'd be like, Rudy, you know this person, you know this guy. Who is it? What is this person? And not even Cena. He just doesn't care. On All Stars, he didn't even remember who half the people on the show were. Who was that girl that was with that? It was that was Sheehan.
Well, you know that during casting of season 1, there is no fucking way when they put them all out there that they would say Rudy's going to be one of our biggest stars out of this season. There's no fucking way.
I don't know.
They expected him to be gone so early on. He was rubbing people the wrong way with his sergeant routine and everything else. And then he ends up hooking up is the wrong word. He ends up partnering up. No, that's still not comfortable. He ends up aligning with Richard Hatch, the most unlikely ever in any show.
Rich, he was queer. And that wasn't where I came from. You don't hook up with that.
that was a great
Rudy's
season.
the best.
It really was. So does he ever go to any of these Survivor?
No, not anymore.
No? I just saw.
I spoke to him on telephone once, and he barely is coherent. So.
Yeah.
You know that he's on the Survivor slot machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Rudy, Jerry, and Rupert.
Yeah.
And none of them get a motherfucking dime.
Yeah.
What is that bullshit? Does anybody know how Rupert's governor campaign is going?
I heard about that yesterday. Somebody.
Is it going
It's been
anywhere?
out there for a while now.
Somebody, yeah, but they sent me a Facebook asking me to make a comment because Sheehan made a comment and Jerry made a comment and several people from the Survivor world had made a comment, and what did I have to say? But I was like, I didn't even know he was running, so I mean.
He's running on a libertarian ticket?
Yeah.
A libertarian, right?
He's campaigning to be the libertarian candidate, but he's not officially the libertarian candidate. They have not named him.
The last I read was he was very surprised at how much it costs.
Oh.
I didn't know how expensive it was.
I mean, Rob, you're in California. You remember the last governor's race?
Yeah, it's like porn stars like Gary Coleman.
No, not that crazy one.
Oh, that one.
The last one with the, what's her name from
Schwarzenegger.
eBay. She
Meg Whitman.
Meg Whitman.
Yeah.
Spent like, what the fuck did she spend? Like $100 million or something?
Yeah.
Why does anybody want to be the governor? It's just like...
if you're the governor, you get to fuck these hot girls like Arnold Schwarzenegger's housekeeper.
She can do better.
God, you guys are slow, man. Rob's still confused about what I said. You think with this guy having the biggest hit movies and being the governor of California, and look at Clinton. They're not very picky guys. It's just like, get what's like, right there or what? I don't know. Let's go to the next video mailbag. That'll be our last one.
Whoa.
Hello, my name is Gregory. Hi to everybody on the panel. Seeing how season 25 of Survivor is right around the corner, it seems like that would be maybe a great time to have an all-star season. And an idea for the all-star season I was thinking would be, since a lot of players who played before have said that the game's changed dramatically since they played, would be maybe to have an old school versus new school type of season. What do you guys think about that idea? What players do you think would have to be cast in that type of season, and what generation of players do you think would win out, the old school or the new school type of players? Thank you for taking my question.
That's the lost brother from the Jackson 5. Okay, so I think it's a good idea. Old school versus new school.
But what would I be, old school or new school?
Well, then you have to have like 25. You'd say 10 and before and 11 and on.
But so what's the format? Is it old school format or new school format?
Why not have the first half of it before the merge, old school with no idols, and then after the merge, let them throw an idol in there? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I say old school and watch these crybabies go home. Vote me up. I don't know what I was thinking. This is hard.
Are you talking about Fair Play again?
He ain't the only one. All of them quitters. But even the survivors this time, the new generation, they got it easy. They really do.
Yeah, they got a lot more food.
Although Pearl Islands was a good season for me and Rupert provided us with a lot, we still suffered. And in Heroes versus Villains, I don't think I suffered that much, although it was very strenuous from day one. But I didn't lose as much weight as I lost the first time around.
Rob?
I think it's a good idea. I don't know if they're gonna do anything like that. I mean, it's hard. It's like we're marketing. It's old people. It's the old people versus the new people.
See, that's what makes it tough too. Is this show has been on? They went on the same year as Big Brother, and what are we on? 12 years now?
Yeah,
12 years. 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at even when Colby came back the last time. That was Heroes and Villains. Colby, what was that? James calling him, Superman's wearing pads! Superman's wearing pads! Colby was like a shadow of himself for the first two times he was on. Even Rudy, when he went on All-Stars, we were just talking about Rudy, that's why it's on my mind. Those few years really aged him a lot.
Well, Rudy was, I think, 76 when the first one, and it was only like 3 years later. It was, the first Survivor was in 2000, and then All Stars was in 2003. So it was only 3 years later. So,
but it really did show, he really did look like it aged him.
You age much faster after you've passed 60, I feel that downhill real fast.
So, how do you think? What do you think will be the next format of the next All Stars? Since they're so reluctant to call it another All Stars, they give it a theme: fans versus heroes and villains, douchebags versus nice people.
How about Extreme Survivor? Like really serious,
Put them up in the
Let-
hills of Afghanistan and
No,
Get
not
They
them
have
to
to
the town.
cannibalize each other. That
But
would
I
be
mean,
Extreme
just like
Survivor.
the first couple of seasons where people were really like, although we were hungry, but I mean like real hungry, you know, and
They
you
don't
know, all
highlight the
these
fact of like
idols and
trying to get food or anything anymore. For the last quite a number of seasons, to me, it just seemed like it goes from one competition to the next, a little bit of strategizing, and that's it. There's not really, you don't see a whole lot of like the I don't know, character building and people starving. Yeah, I haven't seen, nobody's killed a motherfucking pig.
Well, I don't think they have too many pigs in Samoa.
So I wouldn't doubt there's pigs, there's wild boar up in Hawaii, up in the mountains in Hawaii. That's why you can't drink the stream water. When I went there,
I don't
they're
know.
all like, oh, you got to watch
Sandra,
the wild
did you
boar.
see
They're
any-
fucking mean.
Did you see any wild boars running around in Samoa?
No, I thought pigs
chickens
were
and hermit
you know
That's it.
available in the South Pacific and so on.
Yeah, I think
must
they're
be.
pretty-
They're,
they're
they're
pretty
brought
much
in by
spread throughout all
probably
those-
the
all those
Indian
islands.
traders and the Chinese.
And the production.
Well, the English spotted a lot. They're like the missionaries.
Like, oh my god,
Like,
it's a chicken! Oh my god, how'd that get right there?
Well, yeah, that's a whole different thing. But so, is that it? Are we wrapping it up?
I'm
here?
good.
We just hit like a
Good.
dead
I have
spot.
5 minutes
Yeah.
left of battery power here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good point to wrap it up. Hey, thanks for coming in on Friday night, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Next week, for you guys watching and for everybody here, stay tuned with me. We don't know if we got Thanksgiving next week, and usually it's kind of a recapping of the season so far. So we don't know what's going to go on. So I will let you know. Keep
Yeah,
an eye
it
on
is a
Twitter and
recap.
all that stuff. It is a
Okay,
recap.
because look, I'm gonna be in Virginia and I'm not taking my computer.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there's a good chance that we might end up skipping next week and
Ooh.
enjoying our Thanksgiving with the football and getting into some family arguments like every year.
I'm done with football. No more
Oh,
football.
God. Yeah, we're both Jets fans, and it was just misery.
Look, so
Dude.
this is everybody that doesn't have shit to do on a Friday.
Wah, wah, wah.
You guys, like,
She hit it on my head. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, you guys, and we will see you probably the week after next.
bye,
All
guys.
right, bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.